Hi guys, hello, Mary, meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and today I wanted to just talk to you before we get started with the questions. Tonight's video or chat is going to be an autistic spectrum disorder, and because Ruben whatever asked me also why we're even doing a live chat every night, and I wanted to take some time to explain that to you. And the reason is because the new AdSense policies are going to require that I have approximately 20,000 minutes every single month. Once we reach the first 240,000 viewers minutes, we will become eligible for more time. And so that's the reason we're doing that, is we're trying to reach the threshold that YouTube has set up. And I'm going to check something right now here. Yeah, the frame rate's a little bit crappy right now. I don't know why that is, but oh well. So let me get back to the main gist here. So we're gonna be covering the content of autistic spectrum disorder, Asperger's, as well as answering your questions, of course, as we go. And he said one thing which I do not disagree with. He said, "You autistics seem to live in a world of your own." And unfortunately, we do. And so I wanted to, tonight, I had a video set to go, and I did double check ahead of time to see if I could use the song Fall in the Hill by the Beatles, but apparently not. Apparently UMG UK does not want it being used on a video. And so I had to re-upload the video without the song. And so that's being processed as we speak. So that should be online a little later on. Here's one of my cats. Oh yes, Aspie's got cats. And some like dogs. I'm not really a dog person, but yeah, he got a chunk in his ear still. Yep, he's got a chunk in his ear. Again. Okay. So anyway, I'm probably going to let him outside. Like always, he seems to want to go out. He was out a little earlier, as was Rusty. But, you know, that it's getting to be cool. It's warming up a little bit enough now, but it's a little windy outside at this point. So it's not really too bad. So without any further ado, let's switch this over to the questions on the desktop so we can see what the questions are. And, of course, put the phone number up and switch over to the effect. By the way, I should explain that this software is a lot more sophisticated than the other software that we're using, because this allows us to do some more advanced stuff. The other program didn't give us this kind of fine-tuning control. Let's put these in the background here. I can't close them because they're important. So anyway, we're going to turn the phone on. And I could technically turn the microphone on or the computer off because we're not using the actual sound for anything. At this point, I'm just me. So let me put my face up on here in the corner so that we can at least watch. There's really not much to say. No, there isn't. What the heck? Michelle's gonna do it anyway. Yep, we can do it both. And this, and so that we can see both the cameras at the same time, but except the CP230 is it's not showing me any IO. I see that. So that's okay anyway. It's not really much to see. So let's just switch this on. Okay, now you can see me. Alright, so there I'm in the back here in the corner. I was going to use the CP230, but unfortunately the camera is not working. I think the system didn't get a chance to refresh the load of the driver, and I don't have time to fuss with it right now. Anyway, so no reason to. So let's get to the questions. At this point, I'm sure we're going to have people with peace on tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. And again, I want to remind you what it says here for those who cannot read the screen. It says, I hope to have a few people tonight. Tonight we will cover autistic spectrum disorder as requested by Ruben whatever. We will start our stream about 6:59. I actually started the test card at 5 minutes to 7 so that people can kind of get themselves organized. And if anyone wants to volunteer at the North American Snow Queen Palace, please contact me at biggallo3@gmail.com. So you can actually ask me questions and find out if you can be on the live stream. I really would love to have you on here as a crew. We really need people to do cameras. We need people to do production. We need more people we can get. If we get one more person to do the cameras, we can do moving cameras instead of just having statically set of cameras at this point. It would be clearly a voluntary position at this point. If, on the other hand, the opportunity ever does present itself where we can start paying employees, that would be fantabulous. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Because, first of all, right now the goal is, the reason why we're doing live streams every night, as I said, along with every other content, is we're trying to reach the magic of... Somebody else is making noise. I hear that. Yeah, let's check that. So let me see what's going on here. You think there's somebody at the door? I don't think so. But that doesn't really... Alright. Okay, so anyway. Let's see. Right now, at this point, it's just me. How long is this chat going to run for? I can't say. I mean, we could be on for a couple hours. We could be on for an hour. We could be on for 5 minutes. We could be on for 10 minutes. I mean, for 1 hour. Right now. That's my goal. 1 hour. Unless something tragic happens, like a computer crash or... a power failure obviously would really knock us offline. But I don't see any realistic reason why we have to worry about a power failure or a computer crash at this point. Hi people, peace. I was expecting you to be here. Yes, I see that. And the question is could you bring any of your friends over? Because I was hoping to have a few more people on tonight. Because last night was pretty quiet, and I'm hoping to hear from more of the crew. Okay, well, let's talk about the micronations real quick. The cement slips that you mentioned in California is technically outside, is in the state of California, but it's not really, most people don't make a big deal about the cement slab. Okay, but it's true that under the 1933 document, they could become their own country if they chose to. However, the state of California isn't going to like that at all. Neither will the United States government. So, unfortunately, to become a nation... I gotta get some Kleenex. I got some right here. Okay. In order to become a nation... you have to have two things. Number one, a constitution. Number two, you really need to be recognized by another country. After all, you gotta have trade partners, right? And I don't have that many micronations, and the ones I do interested in different stuff. Unfortunately, I admit sometimes I pretend to be interested in things from my friends. Right, I understand that. I've done that many times. You mentioned Sealand. The reason why Sealand is successful is because in 1967 it was outside of British waters. It was actually in international water. And originally was a country fort established in World War II by the people of the UK. Unfortunately, they never enclosed it within their own their Treaty of Waters. They changed it a couple of years ago. Sealand also decided to change their own policies and said, well, fine. Now we annex part of England for ourselves. I understand that. Yep. Let's see. But anyway, to answer your question so Sealand is most successful of the potential micronations under the 1033 Treaty or Convention. The California slab would have to again go through and file a declaration, and they also would have to create a government, create their own currency, and would be a real tough challenge. From what I've seen about that place, I don't think they're not that organized. They just kind of want to keep it a small deal. It's not really like they're interested in maintaining a political organization, which is a requirement for a country. So I don't think that the California thing is ever going to really happen. However, the interesting thing is that, we have the Republic of California that wants to become its own country. The eastern part of California has said, no, we want to remain part of the United States. So what would happen is the people in the eastern part of California want to create their own state, but would remain part of the United States. Whereas the western part wants to cede from the Union and become its own individual country. How likely is it possible that the Republic of California ever come into existence? It's possible. Yes, it is. Actually, micronations are attempting to become real countries under the 1933 agreement. If you go back, and I forgot what it was called, look at micronations in 1933 convention. It is hard. But some people are doing it. Sealand is probably the best prepared. Well, micronation and a nation are really still trying to become nations. They're just smaller. That's all. It's kind of like a micro USB versus USB in relative size. I mean, a USB connector type A is bigger than a micro USB connector. Well, that's true. The most important thing any country is going to need to have is just going to need to have access to food, water, shelter, clothing, commerce. And obviously, if you make it too small, it's going to... Well, it's not so much an issue as space. Okay, you got to understand what it is the country needs. A country has to be able to feed its people. It has to have commerce. It has to be able to make a product. It has to have things to trade. If you don't have anything of commerce, anything to trade, you don't have a country. You got to create products, and then you have to find trading partners. And ideally, you need to be recognized by another country. In Moldova, called Transnistria, they call the last surviving Soviet republic. Well, that might be true. It could be. Sure. Just like there are people who mentioned, I think it was, what was his name? One of the people, he mentioned that he supports the idea of a monarchy, which is kind of cool, but except the monarchy is a real pain in the ass to run. Well, okay. And they certainly have the right to rule that way if that's what they choose to be a socialist country. But they should take some advice and do YFF. What is that? What is a YIFF? See, I don't know all these terms you guys come up with sometimes, so I have to basically scratch my head wondering what in the hell you're talking about. Just sounds like somebody making some problems. Yeah, I'm let's see if I can get the other camera working here. Let's see if we can get this other one on. I don't know what a YIF is. I support communism with the Soviet Union, North Korea, pretty bad. Yeah, and so is Venezuela, which is also a socialist country. You see, the problem with socialism in general is it only works in very limited circumstances. It doesn't work for everybody. Alright, let's see if I can get the overlay working. And come on. Oh, give me a break. It's not working today. No shit. Alright, I see that. Okay, we'll try getting one here. Okay, I think we're working on built-in eyesight. Does that work? Yeah. You want to see my head? No. I don't want to see your head. I see your head every time you look in the mirror in the morning. I know that. Okay. Anyway, so, the problem is, as I said with socialism, is it only works in certain limited area. Yeah, but Cuba's got problems too. You know what I mean? Cuba's not exactly perfect. I mean, you got to think about this for a minute. One of the biggest problems with socialism, communism, is that it takes away the incentive to improve yourself. See, if you think of what it is that drives people to succeed, capitalism does just that, because you're competing against other people for products and services. Just think with YouTube here. I'm competing with thousands of other channels, and several other thousands in of them have Asperger's, and yet what makes my content stand out. It may excite some people, but may not excite other people. Well, what's the problem with communism / socialism? It makes people poorer. It does not encourage the ability to become financially stable, because everybody's paid the same way. And I know you did not grow up in the Soviet Union, as far as I know. Do I know Chris Chan? No, I don't know him personally. I know that there's a guy that calls himself the next Chris Chan, but I don't know the man personally. I have never met him, so I know that he runs a channel with some of my content on it. But unfortunately, he only shows you some pieces of my videos. So if you think my channel is going to be like that with a lot of slapstick and fun stuff, I hate to disappoint you. My channel is an awesome platform for people with autistic spectrum disorder to come out and talk. And this includes people who want to learn more about autism and Asperger's disorder and how we manage and see the world. So unfortunately, they say that a lot of people who have Asperger's do have a little bit of a sense of humor. But unfortunately, we don't see it ourselves. We don't see ourselves as funny. I know that sounds stupid, but take my word for it. Let's see. How are we doing in the signals? Michelle's just nervous. No. Wow. Dang, those crazy frame rates. Oh my god. That's sick. That's sick. Yeah, that's sick. In case you wonder what we're talking about, I'll highlight it here. Is the number I'm talking about when we're getting about 8 frames, 6 frames per second. Average is 9.24 frames here on T-Mobile for some reason. I checked it on speed test net. We got good speed. But for some reason, it's just not giving the kind of performance that I'm looking for some reason. So I'm hoping the video will continue and not die on the way down to the session. But I don't see why it would be going offline. But 1852, 755, 20. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So back to your guest. No, I know Chris Chan. As I said, no, not personally. Anything else? No, I'm surprised Ruben's not here, because he was the one who wanted to know why we were doing live streams every night. And I'm going to explain. We're doing live streams every night because one of the requirements is that we have to have 240,000 minutes a year. To reach 240,000 viewer minutes a year, we need to produce content have it viewed of 20,000 minutes a month of viewership. Now, I'm at 10,000 minutes right now, but we have to increase the viewing minutes a lot in order to reach that. Plus, we have to have 1,000 subscribers. So now I can't guarantee I can do anything with the subscribers, but the user base we can do something with, because if we can get the usage up, if we can get people coming in to watch the live streams, which we're doing very well in January, or December, and November. So I'm hoping we can repeat the same thing again and hit the kind of high peak of viewership on the live streams, because that's what was doing great. The Bcast, I have one ready to go up. Unfortunately, it had to be re-encoded, and it will be online a little bit later tonight. It covers Asperger's and autistic spectrum and the way we are and the why we are. So if you want to see that, it's okay. You can easily go to the videos when they're ready. Oh yeah, I did know that because of course the Cubans are very proud of themselves, but they, unlike Venezuela, have, you know, the Raul Castro and Fidel Castro, his brother, have. Yeah, well, that's the way communism and socialism work. Just that, everybody gets the same wage. There's no any way really to get yourself, you know, make your something that's a better job than everybody else because you're going to be paid the same. And so because of that same old, no pun intended, people don't really feel any need to really improve themselves because everybody's going to be the same. Well, how are they doing compared to Venezuela? Because Venezuela is a mess. No kidding. I mean, to the point where the people are eating dogs and cats for dinner, lunch, and breakfast. Then they're stealing food and they're killing people for food in their houses. And that's where the government under Venezuela, under Maduro, has failed. Okay? See, that's the problem with socialism. Is if the system that distributes the food and products it stops doing its job right, it doesn't take long for a person to start to get a little bit angry and, you know. So as long as you're feeding your people well, it's the same as true with a monarchy. As long as you're feeding the people well, and the people have jobs, and the people are happy, then everybody's happy. But if there's a problem with distribution of products, guess what? No one's happy. And then, of course, just you can see what's happening in Venezuela. You can see the Venezuela is a mess. And it's a shame. Prior to Maduro, Venezuela in the 70s was a democracy. It's no longer a democracy. And, well, Jamaica, however, is a republic. Haiti is a republic, but for some reason, because of bad government decisions, they are not doing well. Okay? And that's the sad truth, is when you got a corrupt government, it can kill your country just as easily as a badly planned government. And anybody who wants to create a micronation, you have a chance to avoid the pitfalls of that and doing the things the right way the first time. But if you are creating a micronation, you also might want to consider. My mom's best friend's parents were socialists. So I suspect then, are you part of the American oh, no, sorry, you're not American. I bet you would probably love the American Democratic Party. They really have to call themselves Democratic Socialists because they are no longer what the original Democrat Party of the United States was since the 70s. They morphed into our socialist party in this country. And they are not doing well this year. Schumer actually tried to screw Donald Trump by making a false promise to give him funding for the wall, and guess what? You know why he did that? Was so that he could try to push the DACA reform to bring in migrants. Whereas Donald Trump says, nope, we don't want that. Now you either give me my wall or I'm not going to give you your DACA. You don't love your parents or your friends' parents, or you don't love socialism. Well, I don't really have a problem with socialists, but I think Michelle and I both agree in this area. When I don't see how anybody can really advance themselves under socialism. You can't, because there's no way for upward mobility to improve yourself. I'm a nationalist communist. Remember the difference between socialism and communism. One comes out of the barrel of a gun. Okay, that would be communist. If you think about it, when Stalin took over the Soviet Union in the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 was actually where the whole concept of communism comes out of the barrel of a gun. Socialists, they just slowly change things and change the rules, and the next thing you know, you're going from being a democracy to a socialist country, which everybody thinks you're still a democracy, but you're not a democracy. In other words, you're a democracy in name only. And that's not good either. And that's exactly what the Democratic Party in the United States has done. It's taken away what it was entitled to the U.S. Constitution. If you gave the United States Democratic Party enough votes, I bet they would go through and take away all the Bill of Rights. However, the only problem is to do that legally, they would have to go through an amendment process, which means all the states would have to ratify that, and I don't think they're going to want to do that. Because right now, the states, except for Connecticut is a mess anyway. Connecticut is a really, really stupid country. You know what? You got echo from the other room. Yeah, I know I do. You think you should turn the microphone off? You know what? I got the other microphone. Yeah, well, I should turn that off right now. So let me go ahead and turn the speaker down in the other room, because I forgot the other one's on, because the other one is recording the other video, and I'm going to get that on there. I'll be right back. Okay. You see, I forgot I had the monitor speakers on in the other room. And so I was picking up echo from the monitor speakers in the other room. And while it wasn't really quite that noticeable, it was noticeable enough to my ears that I found it a little bit annoying. Did you know that everyone has free health care, secondly? And the UN said that they have really great healthcare system with lots of professional doctors. Yeah, to a point. They do. In fact, unfortunately, they work with the Soviet Union, or the Federal Republic of the Russian Republics. They are... Unfortunately, it's hard to get into Cuba for medical care. Well, they have no choice about the organic part, because of the fact is that because of the sanctions that were placed on them, they can't really market the products to other countries. Well, like I said, you probably looked at those pieces I mentioned about GMOs and the chemtrails. That's because I don't think Cuba is into this global warming crap. It's just really, really kind of stupid anyway, because global warming is like a fraud. It's not real. As you saw it last night in the weather report I pointed out to you, the weather is not warming up. Right now, it's not warm out there. Nope, it's not warm at all. It's not warm at all. In fact, it's freezing. Yes, it is. Okay. So, let me just check something here. Let's see. Check two different things at one time. Yep, you can see me in the background there. It's too bad I couldn't get the other camera working better, but unfortunately I was kind of limited in getting the camera working. Don't ask me why, I just don't know, but just wasn't. Close that window. Close that window. I don't need that window open. What the heck is that window in there? What's that one? That's the trash. Oh. Okay. Anyway, the phone number, guys, for those of you who want to call is 860-738-8463. And then 860-738-8463. And, yes, I'll check my phone here, make sure it's working. Yep, it is. The phone lines are working. Please don't think Cuba is anything like the North Korea. North Korea, they call it the Hermit Kingdom because the guy is just totally not willing to work with anybody. He's considered one of the least liked people. Whereas Raul Castro, like you said, has been trying to work with the other countries to improve the status of Cuba. Whereas Kim Jong-un has been simply working ways to improve his status, and never mind his people's status. They are starving to death. They are eating things that I don't even want to describe. But if you look at what's going on in North Korea, you would see that the country has like no trade. Fidel Castro was a moderate Catholic, but not too religious. I think most Catholics are not necessarily too heavily into religion. I'm not super heavy religious. My faith system is relatively straightforward, simple. I live what the gospel teaches, but I don't always sit there and quote scripture every day. Well, okay, but in a way, if they support, at least respect the gay people, then in essence they do support the LGBT. Yep. Okay. Besides Cuba, is there any other countries that you hold up as models of socialism? Well, what about China? China? Yeah, because China's got a huge economy. It makes a lot of products. And they have, but there is a little bit of oppression. There is oppression in China. They have the Great Firewall of China. Have you heard of that? That's, in Cuba it has the same thing. They have their own firewall. You can't go ahead and get onto the public internets over there. It's very tight. Well, I personally haven't been in China, but I can see from a Western perspective why you probably wouldn't like China. But a lot of people do like China, and a lot of people think China is a nice place. Maybe prior to the communist revolution in China, China was a pretty small place, pretty quiet. You gotta be kidding me. Iraq. The country is a mess. The country is a big mess. And of course, yes, I admit we didn't help. Okay. You really like I don't think Saddam Hussein was such a good guy. He was a despot. He's just I don't know. Well, I guess you must have liked Mikhail Gorbachev then, because Mikhail Gorbachev was well liked in Russia under the Soviet Union with glasnost. A lot of people in the Soviet Union liked Mikhail Gorbachev because he tried to bring some of the Western ideas into the Soviet bloc. And I think he did a pretty good job, especially after working with President Reagan. They made some very positive work because of the situation with Chernobyl. He was willing to get help from outside. Okay, Christians were present on the Saddam and terrorist groups were strictly dealt with. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. Because the situation with Iraq is being overrun now by Iran, and that's where the problem is. Yeah. Yes, he did. Unfortunately, you know as well as I do that by accepting glasnost, he also did something now very important in the Soviet Union, which is now the Eastern Orthodox, the Russian Orthodox Church, has finally reestablished itself. And that's important because the Russian Orthodox faith system under the Patriarch of Kirill is, I watched one of his Christmas speeches in Russian. I can't read Russian. I can't speak Russian, but I listened to it anyway. He was talking about through the translation I was getting that he wants to see people live in peace and be happy. Yes, he is. Italy's government is a mess. Absolutely. But the newest candidates want to separate themselves from the EU. There is discussion of having an exit from the EU and return nationality to the Italian people. A couple people, I think it was Matteo, one of the guys that was looking into it. I don't know if he ever had a chance to win, but right now the EU is a collapsing pile of worms. It's just not doing well. Well, yeah, that's true. And don't forget, Putin technically likes Donald Trump. He understands what Donald Trump's trying to do. Just like him, he wants nothing to do with the European Union because he realizes the European Union is basically a straitjacket. It's going to basically stop the people from being successful. That's right. Again, he wants to keep the sovereignty of the country. You think you're supposed to make the screen bigger for people who can't, because you're not reading all his comments. So you might want to make it bigger, read it louder, so that people can see what you're saying or what he's saying. Yeah, I can do that. Let's make the screen bigger. Oh, okay, come on. Oh, we gotta highlight that screen. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna make the screen bigger for the people who are reading these things on the computer, so they can have a chance to catch up. Because otherwise, they're not gonna be able to see what's going on. So let me make the screen bigger and wider. Yeah, there we go. So, okay. United Russian Party or something like that. I don't actually know what the party name is. I never really kept up with the name of the Russian party. But they do have a communist party still in the Soviet Union or the Federal or Russian republics. They have a communist party, still does exist in the Duma. And they still have elections. Unlike the United States, they didn't actually say that you can never be a part of the Communist Party. There are people in the Communist Party. And in the United States, there was, except for California, ever since the McCarthy era, we've always said that you cannot be a communist in this country. You cannot even be a socialist in this country. And you can't register as one, which is stupid. You talking about the people in the Soviet Union or the Russian Republic, or are you talking about the people in the United States? Because in the United States, you cannot register as a part of the Socialist Party in the United States because the party does not exactly legally exist. They've been annexed into the Democrat Party of the United States. Okay? And I know that's confusing, but that's the truth. Okay? And however, in California, that's different. They have said that you can be registered as a socialist. Well, no, they actually do. People do vote, are part of the party. People do vote for them, but they usually don't get the kind of votes that they need to be much more than just maybe 1 or 2 seats. It's kind of like when you get into the third party in the United States. The third party in the United States has the same problem. If you look at all the parties that are in the third party, such as the Green Party, which Jill Stein was part of. Now, I've listened to Jill Stein. She sounded like she had a couple good ideas, but unfortunately she had one problem, and that was her agenda was really, really to the left, and I don't think a lot of people were ready for that. and no one really knew Jill Stein. The problem was, is when you listen to the choices, I think that Jill Stein should have been the one that running for the Democratic Party. They're still considering it. It's still a movement to leave the Quebec, Canada. And well, right now, Ruben, we had a topic. Right now, we're talking about nations and countries, and we started talking about autistic spectrum disorder, but that kind of got into countries. And so, why don't you throw a topic out and see what it is that you would like to discuss? You asked me a question I did answer at the beginning of the video, which was, why are we doing a live stream every night? And I explained the reason is because we have to get 20,000 minutes in a month of viewer minutes for the total of 240,000 minutes per calendar year, which means we know that these live streams, I have the habit of really doing well. And since that's the kind of thing that could easily push us into the 20,000 minutes per month, that's why we were focusing on that. Well, they still have that, by the way, People of Peace. They still have the Black Quebec Hoys. They still have that. They're still trying to become their own independent country because they still believe strongly that that they should keep the French identity, and I can understand the reasons behind that. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. But it seems like the globalists clearly are more pushing the Palestinian thing than Israel wants to really go. And the United Nations has basically treated Israel badly in the last viewer minutes upload or minutes viewed. Minutes viewed. It's minutes viewed. So if I created a video, say 1,000 minutes, and 10 people watched the full video of 1,000 minutes of video, that's 10,000 minutes. 20 people watch the full video, would be 20,000 minutes. I have nothing against Jewish people, but I heard a lot of Israel is controlled by rich Masons and they treat the Palestinians terribly. What I understood is by reading is minutes viewed. That's correct. In other words, as I said, you can upload 1,000 minutes of video each month, and if each person watched all 1,000 minutes of it, just 20 people, there's your 20,000 minutes right there. If you upload a 20-minute video and 1,000 people watch it, that's still your 20,000 minutes. Okay? Most of my content is small, so if you ever watch my videos, most of the videos are especially the vlogs, have to be less than 10 minutes because the YouTube Capture app doesn't work on my phone anymore. So, because of the YouTube changes in the software on this side, the YouTube Capture app doesn't work to upload long videos. It kind of doesn't either because they changed the API. But so I'm just uploading the vlogs using the main iOS upload app function. But on the other hand, it's good because the typical viewership in video retention is like 3 minutes and 36 seconds anyway. So if I can keep my vlogs less than 3 minutes and 36 seconds if possible, then I can watch the whole thing. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But you know what? It's his opinion, and we're not going there. We're not going there, guys. No. Nope. We're not going there. They're not going there. That's the one thing I don't want to see. Repeat. Okay, we're having a quiet conversation. Respect. Ruben is a person. He has an opinion, and he has the right to express his opinion, just as you are. No one's going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and have this start all over again. No. Absolutely not. Well, yeah, okay, that he does have a problem with English. I don't know if maybe because English is not his primary language he uses at home. There's, But then again, you know, as I said, English is not his first language. Okay. Okay, so anyway, okay, we cleared the air. Putting in my YouTube Lysol spray. I'm not gonna deal with any bad smells today. No, no, thank you. Right, I understand that. I've done that too many times, especially. Well, you don't have to rush and type too fast here, because obviously you can see the chat's not really going super fast anyway. Take your time if you can, okay? No one's gonna, So, Ruben, you wanted to know something about Asperger's. You had mentioned to me that you were a little confused among the two different lines. One, you made a kind of statement that people with Asperger's autistic spectrum seem to have a little world of their own. And you also mentioned to me that you want to know about the live streams, which I just explained about the live streams. The sad truth is that a lot of people with Asperger's and autistic spectrum do tend to have our own little world. We're the little fools on the hill. We're the ones that watch and listen and think, and when we hear things, you know, it's just the way it is. I mean, it doesn't make us stupid, because I mean, a lot of us take a lot of time to research and learn new things. Okay. So why did you say the comment then? It sounded like you weren't quite sure. I hate to say it, but Ruben might be here to... Well, right now, as I said, I just sprayed my YouTube Lysol spray, so let's keep the air fresh and clean. Well, you know, here's the thing, people peace. Last night was so quiet that we had almost nothing to talk about. I mean, you and I spent a lot of time talking, and I really was hoping last night that we were going to have a couple people on, and because it was getting a little too slow. So I'm kind of, when did I say you said the word stupid? I never said said that we were stupid. Oh, no, I actually read your comment. You didn't say stupid. Hey, take it easy, boys. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go there. We just don't need to go there. We just accept that we're all individuals. We're sitting in the chat together. We're having a chance to talk things out. Please, let's... And I think Ruben would agree with me on this. Let's focus on having a conversation. And that means being able to listen to both sides, or all sides in this case. We don't know how many other people are watching in the background. Just to let me double check to see how the signal's going here. I'm just nervous because I saw tonight that the frame rate is on T-Mobile is really, really sucky. Oh my god. Oh my god, indeed. How are we doing on the drops? 2,956. Wow. Scary, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, is there any way you can beef up the speed? Beef up the speed. Boy, I could probably go back onto the frontier, but unfortunately it's going to drop its speed even more. Yeah, I don't want that. I saw that T-Mobile's very busy. The Nassar verdict in sentence. You know, I actually don't know much about it either. I did hear something about it, but I didn't really get into it. But I can tell you right now, have you been keeping up with the FISA memo, which InfoWars got a copy of the original? I mistakenly said there was 199 pages. It's 79 pages long. Roger Stone has been really, really picking it apart, and it's just interesting to see what is being said about the FISA memo. And then Congress wants to write an abridged version. I I don't really think sanctuary cities are a smart move, because unless you're going to financially provide for all your services, most cities in most states that are sanctuary states, such as California, are not going to be able to financially maintain their standard of living. Okay. Connecticut is becoming a sanctuary state, and unfortunately a lot of the Republican candidates are very upset about that and running for governor, because they see that the state of Connecticut right now has got a financial disaster. They can't prepare. California is no better. Neither is the state of Illinois. So these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, of course, are very much dependent on assistance from... I found an old Alitalia commercial for 1979 for the flights from the USA to Italy with a 747 jumbo jet. Very common, very nice little setup. Which one, the FISA memo? Or are you talking about the other things about what's going on with the Connecticut, with the fact that the state of Connecticut was, under Daniel P. Malloy, was thinking about coming into the sanctuary states? Well, yeah, the new planes are highly sophisticated. The older planes, as long as they can technically meet the structures... Well, first of all, let's talk about DACA. Okay, it stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Chuck Schumer tried to give Donald Trump a promise he couldn't keep. And then he rescinded the promise on Sunday, which basically said was, sorry, we're not going to support your wall. Go eat your own poop. And so Donald Trump is probably saying to himself, okay, well, we're not going to support your deferred action for childhood arrivals. We're going to let it expire. Yeah, I haven't gotten a copy of it yet. I got to go pick up a copy. It looks pretty, from what I saw from when the Alex Jones showed, it's pretty thick. It shows the documentations from the Foreign Intelligence Security Court. It also shows the request to get a wiretap against Donald Trump and the Republican Party people, and showed that they were trying to find every way possible to make up baloney to justify their claims. The initial case, the Foreign Intelligence Security Court said nope. And that surprised the FBI. And then, so they started creating all these allegations. So they, not much. I don't really know much about planes. I know how they work. I mean, as far as the wing design goes, but I never really got too much in. My favorite plane? I don't really have one. Maybe I would say. Maybe a bi-wing plane, because those things are kind of cool. You know, you got two wings on each side, and you got, you sit in an open cockpit. That's kind of cool. I'm actually honest with you, might scare the living Jesus out of me, but I gotta admit that'd be kind of cool, kind of like riding a motorcycle. So how do these sanctuaries become so? Because they simply notice that the towns or the state refuses to work with the Internet Customs enforcement officials when an illegal alien is prosecuted for a crime. Normally, under the law, they have to contact the ICE office whenever they believe that they have an illegal alien that's here. And but these states, they say, no, we're not going to do that. Guess what? That's our problem. We're going to keep them in private lane. 747-300. Well, I don't know much about all these planes. The 747-300. Well, the Trump plane is a jumbo jet too. I don't remember what the size of it is. It's a bigger plane. I think it's a 777. But I don't know what model. And I know that, of course, that the plane that becomes Air Force One is also a little bit physically bigger than the Trump jet. But the Trump jet has always been my favorite plane to watch when it lands, because everybody gets so excited when they see taxiing down the runway on the tarmac. It's You know, it's been his plane. I'm surprised that Donald Trump didn't say, hey, you know what? You can keep your 747 Boeing Air Force One. I'm going to use my Trump plane instead. There, I'll save you money. I'll maintain it. I'll make sure it's all up the code, and you just go ahead, and you guys can have your room for your crew and everything. But he didn't do that. It's an official designation in the sense that some cities have created that into their charters, and some states have basically turned that into, I think it's a 767. Yeah, 767. And so the city just decides, yes, that's right. The city decides on the charter, and also in the if it becomes a statewide sanctuary state like California, it's actually in the state constitution. But right now, the state of California wants to become its own country, except for the East. California wants to remain part of the United States. So California may be split into two different divisions. One is going to be the Republic of California, and one will probably be the New California, which will be a state, if they ever manage to get that far. We were talking earlier about micronations, and technically New California would probably be considered a very large micronation, but basically it would still have to go through the same guidelines in the 1933 convention, which means they would have to create a constitution, they would have to be recognized by other countries. In this case, since they want to remain a state, they would just be recognized by the United States government as a new state. And there was the old California, the West California. I do not know if Sherry is a Trump supporter. I have no idea if she's a Trump supporter whatsoever. No idea at all. Are we still getting phone calls? No, we are open for phone calls, but we're not getting any phone calls right now. Any reason why? Let me see. Any reason why? No, a number's on there. The phone's working. Why do you got the trash barrel open? Yeah, I know, I forgot to close it. Michelle. I got it. No. I don't want to open it. Don't open trash. I don't want to open trash. So, no. 767. It's a little bit bigger than, in some ways, it's a little bit better than the 747 presidential plane, in the sense that it's a little shorter. But one of the things about the Trump plane, it was originally a commercial airliner that was renovated. So why does nice targeted sanctuary city sounds logical to me? Well, that's what Jeff Sessions wants to do. He wants to file a lawsuit against them, and he's basically warned them that he's going to subpoena them to show up in court, and because they're a violation of federal law. That's what they're going to do. And the problem is, that's the reason why those people refuse. Okay, well, I know that you're right. The 747 is, the Air Force One is bigger, but don't forget, Air Force One plane is highly specialized. Right, especially that's one of the things that Donald Trump wanted. His airplanes got Rolls-Royce engines on them because they are known for high efficiency and fuel consumption. Whereas the older 747 used by the president is got engines that slurp kerosene like there's no tomorrow. They actually, however, the president plane also has the ability to be refueled in the sky, whereas Donald Trump's plane doesn't have that feature. Right. Okay. Most people don't know that most of these planes run in kerosene, a very fine grade kerosene called JP, I think it's called JA1 kerosene, which is really highly refined kerosene. It burns really clean, low sulfur, but the problem is that the amount of fuel that they consume is quite a bit. Whereas something like a Cessna uses standard aviation gasoline, which tends to have lead in it. I don't know why they allow internal combustion engine airlines to have burn tetraethyl lead, but they do. Okay, because you see, people, piece. I don't really think much about this, about the planes. I just know because airplanes really isn't my thing. Okay. I have my own things I'm interested in, and one of them is I'm interested in electronics and computers and doing video. So if you were to come to me about video formats and technology, like, PAL versus CCAM versus NTSC, I'll take. Well, yeah, they do flat screens because that's what the audience wants. What do you mean by supplies? You're talking about, oh, you mean all the amenities. Well, remember, the airlines are highly competitive. If you don't have something that your competition has, they're going to flow to your competition, especially the first class passengers. The first class passengers are the ones that are going to bring the most amount of monies. That's great. But you know what the truth is? What if you don't want to talk to the person next to you? You got to remember, some people, especially business class people, are not going to be having the time to sit down and have a big conversation. They may be typing they're preparing the PowerPoint presentation for when they land on the ground, bring it to their next boardroom meeting. They're not going to sit there. And what about the little kids? You realize you got an hour, 2-hour flight, for example. How long is it going to take to keep your 5-year-old entertained? It's not going to happen. Nope. Exactly. And because back in the old days, like I flew to Little Rock, Arkansas in 1987, and I flew with a cold. Unfortunately, I damaged my ears worse than ever. But the thing is that we didn't have that kind of technology. And so I just sat there in the plane, and I brought a book with me, or I looked at the in-flight magazine. We didn't even have headsets to listen to any in-flight radio. That was all we had. Especially between Bradley International to St. Louis, and the same thing when we did the short run. No supplies like food when I left for those trying to cross the border. Well, yeah, but that happens. We're trying to maintain 2 different conversations at one time. Hungarian Airlines had direct flights to New York before I heard that didn't work out so well. They had like 30 people in flight. I guess no one wanted to use them. Well, there's part of your reason. You say you like older planes, but now you know why people wanted the newer planes for long trips. But today's modern flying is, in some ways, they're trying to put more people into a plane. It's tight. I fly first class, says nowhere for me. I flew Japan Air once, and you get your own little pod like Australian Air. Yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because Chris Perello, when he went from London to Seattle, Washington, he got on a plane and he had his own little place. LOT Polish Airlines. Why? What's special about LOT Polish Airlines? I'll tell you one thing I do like is I prefer taking the train because I can stay on the ground. I love going on ships too. I went on a cruise ship with my parents, and that was nice. I would love to take a transatlantic ship going from, say, the port, like the QE2, going to England from New York. That'd be awesome. I know it's expensive, but boy, it sounds like fun. Last time I flew on them with my mom in 2012 was a 767-200. First class, unlimited booze. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do have that. If you're into alcohol. I'm not really into alcohol, though. Because the problem with alcohol on an airplane anyway, besides the fact is that I don't like what alcohol does to my system, is it dries out your pores. The air in the airline's already dry. So, if you want to keep hydrated, you need to drink water. Yeah, probably is. 767-200s. I don't know anything about the 767-200s. What do you think about the 777 Dreamliners? The ones that originally had the lithium-ion batteries in replacement of the lead-acid batteries in the charging system that would constantly catch fire. Right. That would be the 767 series. And obviously the 777 series as well. And of course the Airbus 380. And in fact, in the plane that's the President's Air Force One plane, the second floor of the planes is actually where the command and control is located, the CNC. He flies with a full crew, and he has a lot of them are quietly maintaining things in the backgrounds. Well, let's put it this way. I don't know anything about these airplanes. They're all a bunch of numbers to me. Okay, I mean, you'd have to physically show me pictures of them, but I mean, I really, honestly, I know the Airbus A380 is one of the biggest. But that's not a Boeing plane. I know the 777 Dreamliners were one of the first ones to use lithium-ion batteries for the plane's power systems, which unfortunately had proven to be quite problematic because they problem with the charging, the batteries would catch fire and all kinds of nasty surprises. So I think they probably retrofitted the charging system back to the standard lead-acid batteries because they just didn't work out too well with the lithium ions. I don't know what they were using, lipo or what they were using, but they were just a problem. Planes kept catching fire in the battery compartment. No one knows. I don't know why. I know that Boeing tried to find the cause. They couldn't quite figure it out either. So... Oh, okay, the 787s, okay. Right. But did they ever fix that? Or did they go back to the lead-acid batteries? Okay, I stand corrected. I'm sorry about that. Dreamliners. At least I got the code name right. The Dreamliners. I'm upgrading my home theater. The construction, it's making me nuts. There are cables everywhere. I don't know. My LCD from my XYZ, you would have a heyday here. Probably. Unfortunately, if you really seriously wanted me to go down there to fix your problem, you're going to have to arrange for transportation. And the Boeing 67-200, that's about it. So yeah, Ruben, if you really seriously ever wanted me to fix all your wiring in your studio, I'd have to get down there. You'd have to arrange for an Amtrak train ticket. Because I refuse to fly. Because I already damaged my ears the first time, so I don't want to do it again. Balkan Bulgarian Airlines. It's a Boeing, by the way. Okay. So anyway, Ruben, where exactly, I mean, don't have to get too exact. I mean, what state do you live in? I know you're in the United States. Balkan went bankrupt in 2003. I can see why they had way too many planes and not so much customers. Well, yeah. And probably all some of those planes in the graveyard in the desert, not the southwest. There's a whole plane graveyard. Planes are just parked, rust in peace. Rust in peace. That's actually what it is. Commercial airlines sitting out in the desert, rusting away. I think some of the planes are available for sale if you want to buy one. I think that's it's an idea if you want to spend that kind of money and try to refurbish a plane, but most people can't afford that. In fact, Donald Trump's plane used to be a commercial airline, and then the original owners were an airline. They went tits up, and he bought it from a businessman who bought it from an airline, and then he renovated it a second time to make it the Trump plane as we know today. And he replaced the engines with Rolls-Royce engines. Oh, okay. So approximately where do you live anyway, Ruben? Well, as you can see, looking at the picture behind me, you can see that I have a lot of cables in this place. So let me show you, let me switch the big screen so you can see this place. Yeah, I'm going to switch this so you can see me here, and then I'll describe this to you, this crazy rat's nest of wires. Hold on a minute here. Format Studio, turn off the FS10, switch this over. Okay, here's the studio. Here I am. This is the mixer, the Behringer mixer that I got from CP. Unfortunately, one of the VU meters stopped working on it because apparently some water got in it, but it still worked otherwise. There was no damage and there was no wetness. It just one of the meters isn't working, but that's not good because it's not bad, but because I already kind of had it up preset anyway. And then we have, of course, the Mac, which is the screen here that controls all the I/O, and of course the phone, which only is right now. Go, Heiko, you're on the air.
Hey, can I order a pizza?
Who?
Can I order a pizza?
No, I don't make pizzas. Sorry, I can't help you.
Okay, my bad. I thought this was a pizza place. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so anyway, this is that's the phone switch. That takes the phone calls to come in here. And this is the Mac that does all the work. We're switching and processing videos. And if I wanted to take a probably phone call on the studio lawn, I have a phone right here, which is connected to the system. And we have this camera over here on the wall, which you probably can see. That is, if I switch the camera on right now, I'll show you what it looks like. If I can get it to work. I had some problem with this a little earlier. Let's see if we can get this thing working. It's still out of order. Oh, it is? Yeah, it's still out of order. Oh, that sucks. Alright, that sucks. Yeah, okay. So anyway, this is the way we do all the I/O and stuff. And we have on the board here, I won't confuse you with all the knobs. We have this microphone right here is on this knob, which is this one. That's that fills in the sound. Then we have the middle knob here that goes to the microphones in the other studio. Then we have this knob here, just this microphone turns it up down. And then this one right now is not being used. This one is the computer. So if I play something on the computer, the sound comes in through here. This is for the phone system, when the phone rings and I can answer that. This one over here is for the turntable. If I want to play a record or something, I could do that. This is for the MP3s in the other room. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, really. It just makes it possible for us to... Let me switch the screen back over here. Yeah, just dissolve it out. There we go. And that's how we do it. It's not the most sophisticated. I never heard of Mayday either. Ruben, whatever, Delta is the only airline that makes me dismantle my violin. I don't like to be... Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, destroyed a antique a musical instrument that was related to kind of a cello. I think it was a Vicorda or something. And the professional violinist was pretty upset about that. I never heard of Mayday to learn the type of travel for work. Yeah. I don't really go anywhere. I just do my videos here. Just like Donald Trump. I work where I live. So I have the advantage. I don't have to worry about traveling to get to work. I don't have to commute. I just basically wake up, walk in here, start a video, and that's it. Makes it a lot easier for me. Yeah, it's okay. So anyway, that's what we do here and stuff like that. So what do you think of all this equipment, guys? Surprised to see all this stuff that we got. We got all this gear that we do to make phone calls and stuff like that. Yeah, you could do that, but seriously, it's a lot of private islands that could easily be micronations, but the thing is that some of them are just a little bit too small to justify having an airline. You got to remember something. Airlines are expensive. Planes are not cheap. They cost a lot of money to maintain planes. It may be cheaper to run a ferry if you're close to the mainland. Northwestern Illinois. Oh, okay. Illinois. So you are familiar, obviously, with what's going on with the state of Illinois, and especially in Chicago. Then the mess that Gary Franchi has brought up. He said that Chicago is a mess. Let me ask this question. What's that? How many people, well, sometimes though, when people bring me tech stuff, they don't even come with instruction books. They just drop it on my desk and say, you figure it out. Well, I like trains because, like I said, people piece, you stay on the ground. Well, yeah, you could, depending on how big your micronation is. There may, and why would you say that? I mean, because let's be honest, the railroad is still expensive because of the track. But if you got enough people to justify the cost of a railroad, you could do it. But it's a lot less expensive than an airplane. But you're not going to be able to train travel across the ocean. No, because Winterville is too small for an airline right now. They don't even have access to a small... Yeah, you're talking about the heavyweight passenger cars. Yeah, those are cool. They're called heavyweight passenger cars for a reason. I'll see one train I like. I like the TGV. The TGV, French TGV train is really awesome. Especially when it's driving and goes, his eyes goes... Cars are traveling about 200, 300 kilometers per hour. Yep. I love that. Will it help if you own some land to declare a micronation? Having land is certainly a key piece of it, as it specifies in the 1933 document. Well, let's put it this way. If you pick any place to be a micronation, and you could do that, but doesn't mean that everybody's going to be happy with you. But remember, one of the things is that micronations is that you're going to be becoming your own sovereign country. And so if you try to do it within the United States, the more than likely you're going to have the federal government, and if you try to do it in the state, you're going to have the state going after you. So unless you got the money to hire your own military, you might as well forget it. Because the United States would make it really hard for anybody to become a micronation in the United States. So people who have micronations for the most part are micronations in theory. The Republic of... which... I forgot what it was now. I don't think that would work out too well. Oh, wait. Yes, they are. But I don't really think that, I don't know if, for example, the Massachusetts Pequots are recognized by the United Nations. That sometimes is a very big thing, if you can get the recognition of the United Nations. So I don't think, for example, the Massachusetts Pequots or the Mohegans are recognized by the United Nations. But if you can get United Nations recognition, that's like top dog sirloin. Everybody likes that, but the problem is nobody wants to pay the yearly fees to the United Nations. But the most important thing is with a micronation, or any nation, is you got to have a trade partner. You got to be, trade is essential. Yeah, there's one in the Stone Mountain area of Georgia, too. I forgot what it's called right now. But Ruritania or something like that. It's a monarchy. Yes, it is. It's a micronation, yeah. It's a... I have to look it up again. I had it bookmarked somewhere. I thought it was really cool. They got a little queen and everything. They did a whole video on it. Yeah, people do that. People do that. Yes, you can. Under the 1933 convention, you can do that. You can declare your former micronation. Except the only problem is that how are you going to get away from paying pesky taxes to another country? Think about it. I mean, if I try to declare my apartment a micronation, let's say I own a building, I'm still paying taxes to Winstead. Is it really a micronation? It technically, that's a great question, because I don't think Winstead would appreciate it if I didn't pay taxes. And they certainly are not necessarily going to accept my Declaration of Independence. Move to River... No, it's Ruritania. It's in the Stone Mountains areas of Georgia. It's actually a little bit out from the near Atlanta. Oh yeah, I could buy a farm because right now there's a lot of farmland right now available in the Midwest United States. A lot of properties that are being sold cheap because families have went bankrupt. Farms are foreclosed on. I bet you could probably buy a farm with a couple acres of land. But I would recommend you read the 1933 convention document before you start doing anything. Make sure you're doing everything right. There's procedures. You can't just say, this bag of dirt is a nation. Although there actually is one guy who did that. And he got away with it. He picked up some dirt and said, this vile dirt is my nation. I call that a Pico nation. A Pico nation. Or a Fento nation. Yeah, tiny. Actually, a Fento is bigger than a Pico. Nano nation. Kind of like version versus micro versus mini versus nano versus pico. I guess a container of dirt would be a pico nation. So, seems we've gone all kinds of directions today. But let me ask you a question, Robin. Why did you say what you said on the comment this morning? I'm a little confused. I really would like you to try to give me a little more clarification on that when you said that we seem to live in our own little world. Because it's really interesting you said that, but I was just a little bit kind of wondering why you would say that. Oh, dinner is served. Got a new housemate. It's crapshoot when dinner is ready. Well, lucky you. My dinner's going next door to Cumberland Farms and go grab something out of the frozen food department and shoving it in the oven. That's my dinner. Which I haven't been eating lately at night because I ate 2 servings of pasta salad. Macaroni. Taco salad today at the soup kitchen. So if I have anything, I might get myself some snack later on. But so where's all CP and the other people that used to come here? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but that's somewhat the way a lot of people with Asperger's are. They tend to be very limited. But, the thing is that that's where these chats are great, because these chats allow me to focus on other things and talk to other people. I think, for example, you're talking about pieces talking about planes, we're talking about micronations, we're talking about Asperger's autistic spectrum, we're talking about audio video equipment, we're talking about... See, this is great for me, because I get a chance to broaden out and cover more things. Because you're right, if I tend to have 1 or 2 people and we focus on one topic, NASA is... Well, I haven't really read that much about it yet. I've been so busy today doing other things, I didn't have a chance to go into a lot of detail. So, I'm going to go read that right now, and also what was going on with Jeff Sessions regarding the sanctuary state situation is also a big deal. Because Jeff Sessions is seriously... sounds like he would pretty much get ready to cuff them and stuff them if they showed up. So that's one of the reasons why they were thinking about not coming in to meet up with the Attorney General. Yes, you certainly can. In fact, if it's an island that right now is pretty much vacant, and if it's owned by, say for example, Greenland has a couple, if you want to... Yeah, but the only problem is the space finding one is hard because they're not easy to find. Yeah, but Cuba is not far away. And what would that be? What would your problem be? Cuba is near Miami. It's not exactly far away. It's not even that far from Puerto Rico. I think it's been all over the mainstream media for the entire week. Anyway, I'm not bothered. I have autistic students. Gotta run. Have you. Good night. Okay, cool. Don't forget, we'll be on tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Time as normal. And, yeah, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Cuba has trader partners other than the United States, but Raul Castro is trying to work on things. There's an abandoned, uninhabited island in the Greenland area, and I'm considering if I'd like to find out more how I'd get there. But that's way out there in the Arctic, above the Arctic Circle. All right, people, peace. Listen, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up too. I will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Are you gonna be around tomorrow? Okay. So tomorrow I will be here at 7 o'clock, and Ruben suggests I should check out the other news piece. And if you want to read that document from the 1933 document from micronations, well, yeah, most people would. I'm sure there's some small islands in the equator somewhere that might be willing to, the original country may be willing to work with you. But it's like the Maldives. It's got a lot of country, little islands. Well, no, because I gotta use the facilities. So I mean, it's already 8:30, so 8:28. So I figured that since I'll be here on tomorrow anyway, I figured that we can probably just continue on tomorrow. You could do some research. I gotta research some stuff that Ruben mentioned to me, and I gotta upload that video I did earlier, which should be up online in a few hours. Actually, maybe less than an hour, but I gotta get this uploaded. So I really have to go. So I'll see you tomorrow at the yeah. Let me just go ahead and get ready to wrap this up since the other camera's offline. Let me just switch over to this one. Yeah, let's do it this way. So just turn the phone number off here. Ding. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Let's say switch over to this one. Okay, so guys, I want to thank you all for being part of this live stream tonight. I'm sorry we didn't really get a chance to get a lot of stuff. We talked a lot for about an hour and 30 minutes. Tomorrow we will be covering other things, and I want to thank you all for being here. And please do invite your friends, your family, to come be part of tomorrow's live stream. It'll start at 7 p.m. again. So I will see everybody tomorrow. So stay out of trouble. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.